Ben West with Phoenix Trinity Firearms. I'm out at the range today running my Honcho. Right now I've got my 38 Super Comp barrel where I'm running my preferred load, the 124 grain Precision Delta, sitting on some Vitivori 3 and 3/8, running about 1400 feet per second. So I run for USPSA Open Major, but today I'm going to do the live version of changing this barrel out over from the 38 Super Comp barrel to 9mm barrel. Now I'm going to be shooting just 9mm minor. That's the only 9 ammo I've got. But I'm also going to do a conversion from the open configuration to iron sight because I have one of those barrels as well. So I'm going to do this live. So hopefully you can actually see what I'm doing because I'm doing this from my camera, my cell phone, solo. So let's see here. I may be speeding this up a little bit because this is totally amateur, but all right, so make sure we're clear. And I'll go and do the change. So right now, 38 Super Comp is in here. And I'm going to take this down to 9. So get the racker off because that gets in the way. And then just like any other double stack 1911, you just take it down like you normally do. If you've seen my other swap video, this one probably not going to struggle as much. Set this aside. Alright. Make sure you can actually see everything. Take my recoil spring out. Barrel comes just out the front. So hopefully you can see 38 Super Comp. Set that aside. Grab my 9mm barrel. Slide it all in. Use the same recoil spring. Don't need to change anything. There we go. And then just gotta hold this upside down because of the locking block, how that works. Lock that back, take that out, put my racker back on, and get my springs and my sweat all over the thing because it's pretty warm out. It's warm for an Ohioan then, how about that? Okay. Come on, there we go. Alright. Racker's on. Alright. Bring my camera back up so we can see this thing called my face. Alright, now make sure y'all can see. Yep. Alright, so this is just some 124 grain full metal jacket. This is just some ammo I had running in my safe. This is minor power factor. This is not major. I don't have a major load. And just going to shoot some steel over here. As you can see, the brass isn't really flying that far, but this thing is a hoot to shoot in minor. So, ran some rounds of 9 minor for this gun. So I've shown you I've gone from 38 Super Comp to 9mm, ran some 9 minor ammo. But now, let's change it up a bit. Let's go to the 9mm iron sight. So, process is pretty much the same, except that we take a few bits off. We add one more bit on, the few bits off being the scope mount and the scope. And then we're going to put on a rear sight that takes place of the racker. So let's get started. Make sure y'all can see what I'm doing here on my shaky table. Alright, so here's the iron sight barrel. We're going to set that aside for a moment. Make sure our gun is clear. And just like before, take the racker off. set that aside. And then I'm also going to take my scope mount off. I'm going to take my scope mount. I've also got a gas pedal on here. This is an Arredondo thumb rest. This is just a personal preference I like to run, but we're going to take that off as well, because we are not going to need that for iron sight. Take that off. Now we're going to take 2 of these screws that we use for the scope mount. We're going to set those aside because we're going to reuse those to attach the rear sight. The screws that are used in the racker, sorry, people are shooting next door. The screws that are used for the racker are actually shorter than the ones that are used for the scope mount. Alright, so let's take that off, set it aside, wipe that down. Let's go ahead and take the top end off, just like we have been doing before. Set that aside for a moment. Take our locking block out. Take a recoil spring out. Barrel, slide it out the front. Set that aside. Take our 9mm iron sight barrel. Feed it to the front. Same recoil guide rod and spring. Don't need to change anything there. Set that in. And then make the 2 ends together. And bring it all back together. Lock slide back, take this piece out. Now, instead of putting the racker on, we're now going to attach a rear sight. Rear sight just takes place of the racker. Set that there. Take 2 longer screws that I mentioned earlier. Set those in. Then tighten down. Alright, let's go bring this up. So you can see my oh so beautiful face. My excellent camera work skills here. So now we've got an iron sight gun. The nice thing is it's a front sight block gun. So as with the open barrels and the 2 iron sight barrels, these are all 1-piece barrels. So these are not threaded on. This is just all milled from 1 piece. All right, let's make some noise with 9mm gun. So there you have it. There's the live action version of changing the Phoenix Trinity Honcho race ready model from 38 Super Comp to 9mm open, and then changing over from 9mm open to 9mm iron sight. So I'm going to do a separate video regarding changing over to 40 Smith & Wesson. There is a little bit extra work involved. It's not that difficult. It's actually pretty easy. Just got to take a few parts off out of the slide. But I'm going to make that a separate video. So this is Ben West, Phoenix Trinity Firearms, showing off the race ready Honcho. Thanks for watching. That's awesome. Oh, that's cheating.